We're lucky to have with us here today Bill Sargent, who drove up from Shaftesbury, right? Yes, Shaftesbury. But don't be alarmed because he grew up here in Worcester and attended 1st through 8th grade in that building right over there that used to be a school and is now the Historical Society. And he used to play baseball right here on this diamond growing up. So he's got a lot of Worcester in his background, and he's going to read to you a chapter from his book called
50 Years of Dirt Forest.
50 Years of Dirt Forester, and the chapter he's going to read is about his growing up in Worcester.
Before I read the chapter about Worcester, I'm going to read a few remarks to tell you what the book is about. I'm going to use my favorite introduction. My name's Bill Sargent. I'm 50 years of dirt forester and never behind a desk. I used that the first time I introduced myself. Talk a little closer, okay. I used that the first time I introduced myself to the Vermont legislature, and it's how I introduce myself in every speaking engagement I've done since then. A good friend, after hearing that introduction, told me that I should write a book and use that for the title. You'll never do that again, he says. I'm not a writer, I'm not a public speaker. I'm a forester. Why write? Some days aren't as easy as others. As I've gotten older, I've come to realize that my best day today may be not as good as my best a year ago or even yesterday, at least physically. Writing is a piece of cake. There are no hills to hike up, no black flies, no mosquitoes, no ticks, no minus 20-degree temperatures to deal with. I've been asked already this morning, what's a dirt forester? A dirt forester works outdoors every day, no matter the weather. A dirt forester stands in mud halfway to his knees, scaling and grading logs. A dirt forester snowshoes up a mountain in sub-zero weather with a snowstorm on the horizon to get the timber sale marked out. No excuses. You have to get the job done. I spent most of my 50 years in log procurement for some of the biggest mills in the Northeast. This story is about the loggers, the truckers, and the hardworking folks that helped make it happen. We were outdoors every day, never behind a desk. I'm going to get a little bit political for a minute. I won't be insulted or mad if you don't agree with me. I'm a big boy. I can take it. I talked about this in the book. We as foresters, wildlife managers, loggers, and truckers must constantly struggle to defend ourselves against a public that consumes more forest products every day but doesn't want logging in their back dooryard. Logging's not evil. We need these products in our everyday lives. Harvesting of wildlife is a legitimate wildlife management tool. I testified in the legislature and defended some long-standing Vermont traditions. My dad was with me that first day I went to the legislature. I truly believe that change is not always good or necessary. I spoke throughout the book about getting involved. I never had up till the last 2 years. I was outdoors, making a living. What's the book about? I've said several times it's about change. It's about the change I've witnessed in my 50-year career in both forestry and wildlife management all across the state of Vermont. I worked as a deputy game warden for 10 years in Bennington County when I first got out of college. It has a whole chapter about being a warden that's full of war stories. No radios, no backup. You were all by yourself at night. The department sure has been forced to change, and I'm positive it's not all for the better. It's also about changes I've witnessed in not just our forest and animals, but new insects and diseases that I've never seen growing up in the little town of Worcester. You will read about me advocating for a position called Wildlife Disease Specialist within the department. I've talked to the Lieutenant Governor, the commissioners, the Forest and Parks, everybody I can talk to. We need a wildlife disease specialist. I'll be around all day at my tent, and you're all welcome to stop by and talk more about the book. This book has opened many doors for me and is making some pretty exciting times in my semi-retirement. In order to tell the story, I have to go back to my beginnings. It was difficult to write about myself. Dave Book from Worcester told me just write it and get over myself. So I did. Dave also edited one of the first editions of it, and there was many of them before we got to this final stage. I'd like to read that little chapter about Worcester growing up here. I grew up in the little town of Worcester, Vermont. It's located about 10 miles north of Montpelier on Route 12. It was a sleepy little town of less than 500 people when I was here. The current population in 2022 was 964 people. We had moved to town around 1958 after my dad had taken a job with the Vermont Highway Department. I was just about ready to start first grade at the time. All 8 grades went to one school back then, the White Schoolhouse. A few years earlier, there were several other one-room schoolhouses scattered around in the mountains of Worcester. This was the first move towards consolidation when all these little schools were closed and they were all brought to the big school here in Worcester. Doty School was built. First year. As I grew up, all my spare time was either spent fishing in the North Branch of Winooski or playing baseball. Baseball officially started for the kids in Worcester on town meeting day in March. Snowbanks were still tall along Route 12, but it didn't stop us. We'd find our oldest baseball covered with my dad's friction tape that we swiped and taped to the street. There wasn't much traffic then and it didn't go fast, so we played ball in the road. Once Little League started in Montpelier, we'd put our uniforms on and hitchhike to the city. 9, 10, 11 years old hitchhiking up and down Route 12. Times have changed. I played ball for Babe Ruth in Bennington, or in Montpelier rather. Montpelier's American Legion team. We weren't very good, but my parents didn't miss many games. Paul Winters from right here and I were elected co-captains of the high school varsity team. We made the sports section of the Times-Argus with a picture, but there were not very many winning box scores in the Argus. Fishing was something I was good at, though. The North Branch was full of decent browns and brookies. Every Saturday, Mom made baked beans. And it was my job, along with my brother Tom, to make sure there were plenty of trout to go with them every time. When we had extra, they went into a bag in a freezer. Possession limit be damned. My companion was always my collie dog, Jingles. She'd keep the Jersey cows at bay while I walked across the meadow to fish. Then she'd go for a swim when we got to the brook, always in the holes where I wanted to fish. Her other job was following us to school every day. She'd follow us right up here. Often we'd come out for recess and she'd still be sleeping on the front porch. Everybody in town knew her and nobody bothered her. Sometimes we'd spot big snapping turtles in and along the river. Our neighbor, Mr. Witham, would always give us a quarter if we could catch them and bring them to him alive. He claimed he made turtle soup out of them. Maybe he just let them go, I don't know. He also delivered mail around town. We were always impressed by his stories of panther sightings on the back roads. In the 7th and 8th grade, I had a paper route. The papers would be dropped at the post office where I'd pick them up. Mrs. Daly would always invite me in if I was early. I was intrigued by Mr. Daly's collection of pet squirrels in a big cage. Funny how you remember these little things. Another neighbor, Mr. Maxim, had a big mink ranch right off the Minister Brook. They brought in dead horses, cows, and even whale meat in those days to feed the mink. Twice a day, the barrels of chopped meat were rinsed down the brook. The brook would turn white with bits of whatever was in the barrel as they were rinsed out. No wonder that little brook was always full of huge trout, and further down the river in the mill dam, chain pickerel. I used to mow Mr. Maxim's lawn, and he used to let me fish the Minister Brook. He always had it posted. I always gave him half of the trout I caught, gorgeous native brook trout. I limited out every time I went there. Also stories about mining and panning for gold in the Minister Brook. The North Branch would flood every spring down by the rock cut south of the village where Route 12 comes close to the river. In 1969, I took my brother's brand spanking new 3-speed and rode through the floodwaters. He didn't catch me, but the Times-Argus reporter came along and took a picture of me out in the river. My little brother was not happy. After going to a 2-room schoolhouse, Montpelier High School seemed huge. There were no buses in the day. Dad's station wagon was always full of neighborhood kids he dropped off at the high school on his way to work. My freshman year, I caught mononucleosis and missed a big chunk of school. The only reason I didn't have to repeat my freshman year was because of another Worcester neighbor. Paul White worked for the phone company and had all my classrooms at Montpelier High School wired with a telephone jack so I could listen to my schoolwork. Students would lug the phone from room to room and plug me in. I could push a buzzer to ask a question or snooze through class and hope the teacher didn't ask me anything. I expect this was one of the first cases ever of remote learning. And it seems like I made the Times Argus for that also. There's pictures of all this stuff, those old clippings in the book. Wow, have times changed. My senior year at Montpelier High School, 69 and 70, the guys all talked about two things: deer hunting or the Vietnam War. After school, Duff Dolliver and I would hop in his car and hunt somewheres. We'd bring our rifles to school. We left them in the principal's office behind his desk and left the ammo in our lockers. After deer season, more of the conversation turned to the war and the lottery for the draft. We had a couple of classmates that had just returned from the service. Quick story about my buddy Duff. Somehow he'd gotten, or his father had gotten, a brand new Mount Mansfield canoe. Spring of our senior year, we had the brilliant idea that we could run the river from the mill dam south of town here down to the ledges south of Worcester. We ripped the bottom of that fancy wooden canoe open like a can-over at the earlier mentioned ledges south of White's on Route 12. We managed to drag it to shore and walked all the way back home. Our clothes were literally frozen solid. Mom wasn't happy about that. Dad drove down and retrieved the canoe and actually rebuilt the whole thing for Duff. Another next door neighbor, Mr. Duquette, was a forester. He used to let me tag along in the woods with him, cruising timber, painting boundaries, and planting trees. I enjoyed it, plus he'd pay me. When I wanted to go to the University of Vermont Forestry School, he went over and told my dad not to let me go. Tell him to study to become an engineer, something I could make money at. Well, Mr. Duquette, thank you. Here I am 54 years since you walked over to talk to Dad, and 50 years since I graduated from UVM. Every day working outdoors and never behind a desk. A happy dirt forester. And again, I use that line in my testimony in the Vermont legislature. You'll read a whole chapter about that first trip to the legislature at the end of the book. There was one other thing that influenced me and pushed me into my forestry career. Worcester had a very strong 4-H program in those days. In the 8th grade, I was chosen from Washington County to go on a state-sponsored forestry tour around the state. We visited several businesses in Bennington County. Our tour guide was Jim White, who had just taken the job of county forester and was one of our tour guides. He remained a county forester for many years until his retirement in 2006. I always teased him and told him I remembered him when he was really young. Funny how all the neighbors in the little town had a part in shaping us kids. I didn't mention Mrs. Richardson, or Mr. Richardson, Mr. Magnet, and my dad, who on many warm summer evenings played baseball with us up on the diamond on Ladd's Field. We learned about sportsmanship, team play, and how to field the ground ball. I don't remember the name of the lady that ran the big general store in the center of town before it burned down. I've later been told it was Ida Welch. I came in with my paper route money and buy baseball cards and a huge chunk of cheddar cheese off the wheel. I know that I'd pay a quarter and get enough to eat, plus a chunk big enough for Mom to make mac and cheese or tomato soup. I probably wasn't good for business, but I was a repeat customer. She'd even trade me cheese for butternuts that I'd pick up on the woods along the river. I have many good memories of growing up in a very small Vermont town in the 60s. I'm going to back up just for a second. I think I got a few minutes. What am I doing now, other than writing another book? Can't help myself, David. I spend a lot of my time, the book has opened up some doors at the forestry program at the Southwest Career Technical Center in Bennington at Mount Anthony. Both that school located in Bennington and several other high schools around the state have approached me about using the book in their forestry curriculum and it have invited me to come speak about it. I think I might even be coming up to U32 in a couple weeks. Thank you, Asher. The program teacher and I have invited all the Bennington County legislators to an open house in late October right there at the CDC Center. Most have told me they've never set foot in that school. The Shaftesbury Historical Society has asked me to be their featured speaker at their fall meeting in October. I'll meet again with our new Fish and Wildlife Commissioner to continue to advocate for sportsmen and women across the state of Vermont. I write a lot about that in the book. I'm writing a piece now with a deeper look at the reasons for the disappearance of sawmills in Bennington County. Sounds simple enough. When I got out of UVM, went down there, there was 15 major sawmills in Bennington County. There's 0 now. How does it relate to wildlife? I made some real eye-opening discoveries. I'm in the process of talking to many of the wildlife biologists with the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department about my findings. One thing I've learned over my 50-year career is that for everything you do outdoors, there are consequences. My wife, Sherry's favorite word she uses as a teacher. Early in my career, things happened that we will pay the consequences of for many years. I'm not going to open up and talk about it right now. It's a secret what I'm writing about. I blame no one. I try to impress on young folks that have had a plan, always to have a plan B. There are always unforeseen circumstances working outdoors, and you better be ready for them. Thanks for the invitation to speak at the Arts Festival today. And special thanks to all the folks that either encouraged me or helped me take my first stab at writing. Thank you.
I'm telling you what. They're gonna kill me.
I shouldn't touch that mic because you have a certain angle.
It's okay, I can move it back.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, hey, we're very happy and lucky to have with us Sarah Bell. Sarah moved to Worcester, Vermont. She is a mother, a healer, and a mom. Oh, you said that already.
A mother and a mom.
And a singer-songwriter. Her career's really been taken off. You'll see her playing all around Vermont, just about all over. So we're really happy to have her here, and she's going to sing some of her original and perhaps some covers.
Thank you.
You're
No,
welcome.
it'll be all originals. All originals. All originals, baby. How we doing today, Worcester? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to wander around and like look at all the pretty things. Sometimes I bend here. Hi. But this year it was just a bit too much. I'm leaving for a 2-month trip to Peru in like 2.5 weeks. So my brain has been a little like frazzled at best. But I'm so excited to be here. My name's Sarah Bell, and yeah, I sing about love and healing and coming home to yourself, and that's just come from my own journey, back to my own truth and my own light. And I feel like now more than ever, I feel like this morning I was just feeling a little heavy because just everything that we've been moving through as a country and as a community, it's really heavy and heartbreaking. And so I think this morning I'm just feeling extra inspired to redirect back to love and redirect back to connection. And I feel like fear and separation is the thing that's the train that just wants to keep moving. And until we want to get off that track, it will. So this first song I'm going to sing for you guys, it's actually, it's an a cappella, and it's called In the Peonies. And I wrote this song a couple years ago about blooming. And I felt like it was easier to think of myself as a flower when I wrote this song. And sometimes it's easier to kind of put a little more distance between you and yourself. So a lot of my writing kind of has some of that symbolism in it. And I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. And, just the past couple of years I've been playing music. And it's been such an amazing community to start that little journey in. So I'm super grateful to be here. So this is In the Peonies. I found myself in the peonies. I ran through outer space. I thought I was wrong. My brain went on how I don't fit in this place. I kept myself alone, you see, small inside my house. But I found myself in the Pyrenees. I found the love I held. You are the love I held. I found myself in the Pyrenees. They're peaking early June. I waited long to open up. I thought I never bloom. For this whole time I thought I was a snowdrop in the ferns. But I found myself in the Pyrenees. Sweet sun is what I yearn. So take this fiery heart of mine and cast it in the sun. I spent so long beneath the ground. I'm ready to belong among the trees, sharing their shade, the birds and their sweet song. Out in the world I find my home, for winter days are done. My winter days are done. Thank you, guys. This next song is called Dandelion Ghosts, and it's one of my favorites. My daughter, who was 6 at the time when I wrote this song, one day during No Mo May, she had called the dandelions ghosts that when they'd all gone to seed. She was like, "Oh, they turned to ghosts." I was like, "That is the sweetest thing I've ever heard." So I was like, "There's a song in there." So this song kind of came to me, and it was just raising her. It felt like just raising my own inner child. And like when we've got the same colored eyes, we both got hazel eyes, and I feel like when I look at her, I get to kind of view back into my own self and my own child, inner child. And I've decided as I've gotten older that I would rather grow down than up. And so I'm just going to go with that and see where it gets me, because growing up is for the birds, as far as I'm concerned. So this is Dandelion Ghosts. I met myself today, cross-legged, naked on the floor. I felt my spirit sink down to my core. Oh, when I cried, when I met those hazel eyes, taking in wonder, rock with the thunder, mourn 1,000 lives. And small is the heart of a girl taught to hold her own head. I never loved myself like you love the ghost of dandelion. I found myself today, the smile of a golden child, like dancing in her braids. I felt again inside. Oh, take the time to meet yourself again. I found myself a lover, a child, and a mother, my best friend. And strong is the heart of a girl taught to hold her own hand. I never loved myself like you love the ghost of dandelions. And strong is the heart of a girl taught to hold her own hand. I never loved myself like you love the ghost of dandelions. And strong is the heart of a girl taught to hold her own hand. But you taught me how to love like you love the ghosts and dandelions. Thank you guys, thank you. We're gonna move this over here. I'm like standing at the four corners and I'm like, I cannot move because it's so squeaky. Just now there was an exercise in being very still with my feet, which apparently they are not typically. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. I was like, I know, that's so much better. We're gonna do that. Oh yeah, there we go. Everybody's gonna scoot over. Forgive the asymmetry, guys. There. Now I feel like I can like move a tiny bit more. I was like, I heard the squeaking every single time. Okay. All right, this next song is called Wild Woman Daughter. And this was kind of a song, the end of this song feels like a prayer that I was making to the universe of what it is I was wanting to bring into my world, because I felt like life got really crazy and chaotic for a while there for me. And so I was wanting to bring in peace and love and joy and calling those things into my experience. And our words are very powerful. And I realized that I accidentally wrote a spell when I wrote this song, because it has happened. And I'm so grateful. Things you set your mind to, they come to us. So be careful with your words. Or, just be mindful, I guess. Not careful. Do what you want. This is a Wild Woman Daughter. In that mood, playing tricks again, bringing you around, wondering if I'm ready to change. And only you're a clever one, but these old habits, they die hard, and I'm just a sucker that I like to taste. And I love you, but you bring out my darkness, and I don't want this. Gotta find out what I'm not to find out what I want. And these hands are meant for holding, but the grip I have is choking out my dreams before we see the light of day. And is it peace or is it panic? All these seeds that I've been planting, will it grow? Will God in love bring me to my knees? And I love you, but you bring out my darkness, and I don't want this. Gotta find out what I'm not to find out what I want. To find out what I want. And I want love that feels like the soft cool moss wrapped around a sycamore trunk, keeping me safe and holding me up. And I want peace that stills the waters of this wild woman daughter, without taming me or putting out the spark. And I want joy of my babies, a lot more yeses and less maybes, who run through the sun with a smile on my face. And I want wisdom deep and ancient to bubble up from all this pain of finding out who the hell I am. And I love you, but you bring out my darkness, and I don't want this. Gotta find out what I'm not to find out what I want. And I love you, but you bring out my darkness, and I don't want this. Gotta find out what I'm not to find out what I want. To find out what I want. And I love you, but you bring out my darkness, and I don't want this. Gotta find out what I'm not to find out what I want. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's Wild Woman Daughter. Thank you.
Patrick? The monitor has some feedback, and I think it's the monitor.
Oh, let me fix that.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
That's so nice. Thank you.
I'm okay, he told you.
Perfect.
Okay.
So this next song, oh, can you hear me? I can't hear me. You can hear me.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Oh, thank you so much. Perfect.
How's it going?
Well, this next song, you can hear me? You guys can hear me?
It dropped down.
Oh, it did. I was like, I can't hear. Can you hear me now?
Still dropped down.
I don't think we can. Yeah, I think everything's down.
Did I lose it too much?
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, yes. A little bit. Okay. I just can't hear on the monitor, and that's okay. But hello, 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 hello.
I can move it closer to you as well.
Maybe that's the issue.
I did move away from the monitor. That was my bad. Well, this next song, thank you so much. Oh, that's better. This next song is called Human Radio, and I was just thinking about frequency and how we can kind of adjust our radio and change the station that we're listening to. And I was just picturing how there I am. Now I can hear.
I have to go over the chatter too.
There we go. I was basically just kind of thinking of like tuning myself. This kind of came after a period of time when I was like really kind of deep into meditation and mindfulness and just being more aware of kind of where my thoughts were going. And I noticed like if I could shift my attention, away from like lack, away from scarcity, away from fear, and kind of shift my attention into gratitude, shift my attention into love, into connection, that all of a sudden my experience of my life changed drastically for the better. And I feel like we're all built for that connection, all built for love, for that community. And so often I think our minds they can be our own worst enemies in that. So this is Human Radio, and it's a song about connection and how I have big dreams for the world, guys. Okay, Human Radio. And I am wired for connection. I tune in to love, and I choose what comes to me
Yeah, I don't know if he's still here. I was talking to him out
because I control the knobs of this human radio. You come to me soft and slow.
one day, this has been a year or so ago. It was after
I'm drawing you closer with every note.
mowing.
You sing high
Stuff. I pulled in.
and I'll sing low. You sing high
Andrew was out.
and I'll sing low. I'll sing low. I'll sing low.
So I was intrusive.
And I am wired for connection. I tune in to love. And I choose what comes to me
Oh, that would be presumptuous. I said,
because I control the knobs of this human radio.
oh, he's completely.
You come to me soft and slow.
I've always
I'm drawing you closer with every note. You sing high and I'll sing low. You sing high and I'll sing low.
and our kids were
You sing high and I'll sing low. You sing high
Yeah.
and I'll sing low.
So his career's
I'll sing low. I'll sing low.
yeah, well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether he'll stay.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Okay. This next song is called Undone. And so I mentioned I'm going to Peru in a couple weeks, and so something what I'm doing down there is like basically a deep dive into like sacred plant medicine. So I'll be kind of in the Amazon working with some Shipibo maestros, working with a variety of different medicines. But in that, it's called a dieta, and so you're kind of doing a really intense connection with these sacred plants and getting a lot of feedback still, Patrick. I don't know why though.
There's something buzzy about the whole thing.
What buzzy?
Yeah.
The mic?
Or
The mic's fully plugged in. I might have some weird, terrible superpower of messing up electronics. And I don't know why. I think it's something, like it's going and coming. Like, yeah, I don't know. We don't know, guys. I don't necessarily need it. Like, it's not the end of the world if I just go without.
Sounds good right now.
I think so too. I think so. What's that? Yeah. See, it's okay now. It like kind of comes and goes. So we're just gonna say it's part of the music now. We're just gonna roll with it because that's all we can do, anyways, right? So anyway, so this song is called Undone, and I feel like I've been in this space the past couple years of just releasing so many things out of my world, like so many things that didn't serve, or like this has been a really intense rebirth in the past couple years for me. So this song kind of came from this space of like, there's like something very sacred about letting go and being reborn and it can be a really exciting and terrifying space to be. But there's a certain amount of surrender that comes with it, and I realize that all of us, even I believe that everything that happens, in the world, even as tragic as things can be sometimes, that there is some kind of purpose behind it, and it is ultimately to crack us back open to love, to remind us of our own divinity, to remind us of our connection with each other. And I feel like that's why even like all the divisiveness that we see right now in the world is pointing us home to love. Because you can't see the light without the cracks. And sometimes we need a lot of cracks before we look back towards that light. So this song was kind of my own journey, back to that space of love, back to that space of connection within myself and with each other. So this is Undone. We're all in a little boat. Love is where we're going. Take me to the sea. History, that sacred place. Meet my divinity. We're all in a little boat. Love is where we're going. I am the drop and I am the ocean. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. Undress me with curiosity, caress me with reciprocity. Oh, make a mess of me, wash me clean. Oh, bow to me like you've seen the face of God. In between the space, we made this bed to find love again. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. Take me to the sea, mystery, that sacred place. Meet my divinity. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. I am the drop and I am the ocean. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. Oh, the light in me sees the light in you. These wounds are where the light gets through. Please take this holy mess and make it new. Unravel me like it's the only thing stitching you together right up the seam. This little red thread will be my unbecoming. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. Take me to the sea, mystery, that sacred place. Meet my divinity. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. I am the drop and I am the ocean. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. And I am, oh I am, oh I am undone in the boat's glorious way. Oh I am, oh I am, oh I am undone in the boat's glorious way. Oh I am, oh I am, oh I am undone in the boat's glorious way. Oh I am, oh I am, oh I am undone in the boat's glorious way. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. Take me to the sea, mystery, that sacred place. Meet my divinity. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. I am the drop and I am the ocean. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. Take me to the sea, mystery, that sacred place. Meet my divinity. We're all in a little boat, and love is where we're going. I am the drop and I am the ocean. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. We're all in a little boat, love is where we're going. Take me to the sea, mystery, that sacred place. Meet my divinity. We're all in a little boat, love is where we're going. I am the drop and I am the ocean. Feel these sails with every breath I'm blowing. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I love that song. I feel like I'm in a boat when I play that song. So it's like a little sailboat in my mind. character every time. Okay. I love this next song so much because I've hated the rest of them. No. Every time I say that, I was like, no, but I love the other ones too. Okay. This next song is called Backpack Jesus, and I wrote this past summer, and I realized, like, since I was a kid, I started off my spiritual journey, like, I was, part of a church when I was younger, and I kind of, like, just went on this whole big meander, into adulthood and everything. So now I've got, Jesus said this Backpack Jesus, like, one of the lines is, like, I have Backpack Jesus and, like, basically, like, crystals, like a crystal ball. Like, so I got Jesus and rocks in my pocket, I got everybody at this point. Like, we're working with everyone right now, but love truly is what connects it all. That's it. Whatever points you back to love, go with it. Like, just go with it. Yeah. Okay, this is Backpack Jesus. I could talk forever, but I won't. Okay. Here it is. These bangs trying to kill me. Oh, I'm gonna paint myself in the stars, adorn me with flowers, tie bells to my heart, let me ring out loud, let me scream and shout on, dancing on graves of all the women I've buried deep and laid to rest, to peace, to life. I wonder if seeds pray to see the light when they're planted in the darkness, biding their time. Oh, the living breaks through just when you think you're dying. Just when you think you're dying. Well, it took me more than a few days, but I'm back from the dead, walking out of this cave. I've been kissed by the waters and scorched by the flame. Had learned even so I was worthy of saving. You're worthy of saving. And I had backpack Jesus in a crystal ball. I've been sorting through the truth like I'm sorting sides. These hands are meant for holding, not throwing rocks. We forget the simple truth that love always matches love. Love always matches love. And love always matches love. And love always matches love. And baby, you're enough. You better run like hell to what makes you feel like the sun on a rainy day. What's the point of a dream bigger than your belief if it doesn't save your life one day? You better run like hell to what makes you feel like the sun on a rainy day. What's the point of a dream bigger than your belief if it doesn't save your life one day? You better run. You better run. You better run. You better run. And love always matches love. And love always matches love. And love always matches love. in love, love always matches love. Thank you guys so much. I'm only eating my hair for half of that song. Thank you. It's my favorite one, I think. Okay. All right, I got one more song for you guys. It's kind of a long one. So this next one is called "Pour Me Out Again," and I kind of realized that so much of my own journey has been kind of learning how to process through my feelings and process through things that I kind of just like stashed away within myself and just kind of pretend it didn't happen. And turns out you can't do that. They will come back. But this song kind of came from that space of like learning how to flow through, sometimes more difficult emotions. And, I kind of was putting out there to the universe. I was like, I'm asking for peace. And instead of peace, I got like my grief, my anger, and like heartache, and all of these other things. I was like, this is not what I asked for, like at all. But here's the thing: I like fully believe in the human spirit and like its ability to find its way home to itself. And so I believe that every interaction that we have, with other people and in our lives, that they are meant to kind of crack us back open to our heart space, crack us back open to love, to our truth. I feel like we all kind of like move through the world sometimes like with these illusions of who we are supposed to be, and these are ideas that were kind of placed upon us when we were born, and so often a lot of us find ourselves quite disillusioned and unhappy because you're not following your own dream. So this song kind of was that for myself, just learning how to flow through my own experience without adding shame on top of it, and realizing that every storm does eventually break way into the sunshine again. And I've taken a lot of comfort in that. So that nothing is forever. So this is Pour Me Out Again. My name is Sarah Bell. Thank you guys for hanging out today. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day at Worcester Arts Fest. It's amazing. I can't wait to look around. So I got one more. Thank you guys. I asked for peace, felt the fire of my rage. I asked for peace, hot tears streaming down my face. I asked for peace. All I got was a heartache. I asked for peace, and I got one try to put me in my grave. Surrender to me, only stay. Pour me out, make some space. still live in me again. So pour me out again. Pour me out again. Pour me out again. Pour me out again. And though the sun still shines after 1,000 stormy days, and though I thought I was blind, couldn't see through my pain. I was full to the brim with every drop of my head. So pull me out again. 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 Pull me out again.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys for having me. Take care.
It's a work in progress.
You should see my life. I know.
Oh my God, you see my car. My car is like the perfect description of my life. The perfect visual of my life.
All right. Where do we sign
Oh gosh, I know
for
everything.
no solar on the
It's
last
all
field?
it's all there.
My car is especially interesting at the moment.
I thought this would be
Oh, you rocked it. That was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
good to see you, Alan. Denise.
This is good that you're here because now the solar won't come. You are the solar. How's your place doing?
We're okay. We're down in West Berlin now.
West Berlin, okay.
That's toward Ellie's on Route 12.
Yeah.
We're up on a little delta level land.
Away from the
1950s house with ranch house, just one level.
That sounds like a good idea.
Easier navigating. We're in for the long run though.
I hope it's a really long one. See you around. Yeah, I gotta find my wife again.
Seen everybody I know. Well, I haven't gotten any further than here. Girl was singing.
Yeah, he was here a minute ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, what's that about?
Is it? Well, then that's, names are pretty tough.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. That was wonderful.
You know the guy that was standing there?
Up next, we have our own Katie Spring. Katie has lived here for 13 years in Worcester and runs an CSA. Good. I'm putting in more details. Okay. Anyhow, she's a poet, a farmer, a storyteller, and she places a lot of value on food in our lives. But her motto is indeed that creativity is as essential as food. So please welcome Katie Spring.
Right, thank you.
How old is the boy?
And my child here is 12, so, one year younger than how long we've lived here. And yeah, so my husband and I have a farm that we ran a CSA for a long time, and we are transitioning into grapes, which you'll hear a poem about. How's the mic? Can you hear me? You good? Okay. So I have a few different chapbooks, both over at my little stand over there. I'm going to read a couple poems from one and a lot of poems from another. And this first poem is called In the Beginning There Was Beauty. In the beginning there was beauty, a streak of light across space, a crackle, a smile, as if even before the star exploded, it could see all it would become. Oceans and coral alive in color, giraffes, their long necks reaching as light does, mastodons and beavers, bear cubs and puppies, orchids, gladiolas, anise, hyssop, and hummingbirds vibrating in song. Whole mountain ranges sparkling with snow, lizards skittering across sand, and burrowing owls held by deserts. The first explosion knew nothing of violence. It was catalytic joy. How much there was to discover. Light dispersed into each atom, stardust infused into every cell. Even then, in the beginning, beauty knew of endings, so it wove the answer into all ephemera. The glistening dew of dawn, the spark of fireflies, the roll of ocean waves, and slow dance of the northern lights. Everywhere the past refracts, beauty whispers back to us. Nothing lasts forever. The answer to a dying world is simple. Split yourself open and reconnect the light we are all made of. Okay. Thank you. This next one is a poem that people in Worcester probably have heard before, especially if you go to the monthly community potlucks because it has become the poem of the potluck that we read. And it's called Gather Together. It comes from when I thought I needed to do everything as a farmer and found out that was unrealistic. I don't want to be self-sufficient anymore. How exhausting. Here, let us sow seeds together, intertwine our roots, carry the bucket, hand in hand together, as in to gather, as in community. Let us lighten each other's loads. Remember, we were made for this. So this past March, I did a fundraiser for the Central Vermont Refugee Action Network. And the next two poems are poems that I wrote during that fundraiser, where I wrote a poem every day and had sponsors. And I'm seeing Nancy in the back, who also participated and introduced me to this fundraiser. And we raised a lot of money, I think over $80,000, to support refugee families living in Montpelier. And so this next one is called Make This. What are we preparing for? The end or the beginning? Survival and sustainability are close, but one is more generous. Either way, we'll set ourselves in motion. Why not make this a joyful revolution? And this poem, called Open Door, is also from that fundraiser. I don't know what it is to lose a home, but I know how to open a door, to say welcome. There's tea and coffee, fresh water for you, the table spread with homegrown roots and greens. I don't know what food you long for, but I know how to listen. Tell me, and we will find the seeds, plant nourishment together. So these poems, most of the rest of these poems come from my new chapbook called Light Heart, which I'm kind of weave some whimsy and weight together. And this one is called Little Riot. Once I get to it. Okay, Little Riot. The riot started in the cracks, a seed that settled but didn't give up when it felt concrete. Somewhere in our cells, we remember how our softness softens even the hardest around us. The seed shed its coat, gave up protection for the pulse of possibility that turned out to be life. Here's a short one. Sometimes I try to write poems that make me laugh, so this one made me laugh. It's called Fortitude. Fortitude has nothing to do with building a fort around yourself, and everything to do with opening the doors of your mind. And next I'm gonna read a poem that Kathy asked if I would read. It's called You Could Never Invent This, and I wrote this in March when my job, which is fully funded by the USDA, was going through the roller coaster of funding freezes, and I still have a job, so that's a positive. But that's what sparked this. So here we go. You could never invent this. Let us be generous and decadent. What is the point of efficiency if there is no laughter? Are you really going to ask if the chickadee needed to sing that last note, or if Nana, knowing her grandchildren would tumble through the door, really should have bought that extra half-gallon of ice cream? We didn't need the sweet cookies and cream dribbling down the corners of our mouths after all. Listen, I've been trimming the fat my whole life and I'm done with it. Give me butter and cream. I'll bake a cake so indulgent that I'll lick my fingers and feel full for days. You're getting a long poem because I'm done with efficiency. My mind doesn't go in a straight line, and neither do flowers. Have you seen the patterns in a sunflower's eye? Are you so cruel because you're so scared? You know AI also means artificial insemination. Farmers have known for years we don't need the bulls. They're dangerous and an insurance liability. I'd happily wave goodbye, ship you off to Mars, that planet so devoid of life it must be the epicenter of efficiency. I'd celebrate it. I'd celebrate your launch if it didn't mean another explosion on Earth. We don't need more rocket fuel. We need a super bloom. Have you seen California poppies erupting on hillsides or dandelions rioting in valley fields? Do you fear beauty because beauty laughs in your face, says blooming is extravagant and soft? You could never invent this, and even now, with all your machines, you still need water and flour. You will never invent yourself out of life. You too will die. And no matter how much formaldehyde they pump into you at the end, Earth, in all her efficiency, will send in the microbes and fungi and worms, and you too will break down into soil. So, that one goes out to Doge. All right. So the next one is called Flimsy, a poet that I really love mentioned that he had been writing a lot of flimsy poems lately, and that inspired this. I write flimsy poems, so light they may fly like wisps, so insubstantial may they slip through the cracks of even the hardest heart. Unnoticed until their whimsy sparks and their love softens, and the waters that had been dammed for years tumble out like 1,000 roars, like the fear under rage, like forgiveness longing to meet the sky. A lot of these poems I've been thinking about about softness, really. And I just feel like there's so many hard things in the world that meeting that with a lot more hardness doesn't really change anything. So this one is called Be That Place. Where you are needed is where you are soft. Don't rush headlong into a fire if you don't have water. Do not offer up your gentleness on the altar of martyrdom. There will be a time, maybe tomorrow, or in a year, or in your next breath, when a seed flying high on the smoke and wind will look for a soft place to land. Be that place. Your body, a place, your heart, a place, your hands, a place that remembers how to nurture, that gives root to a world of green. Thanks. Sometimes I write poems just to remind myself of things, like that I should also pay attention to the world and not just like look at my screen or listen to things like podcasts all the time. So this poem is a reminder to myself, and it is called Alive. Look, the sun is shining, and it's time to put down the screen and go out to the field. Get some dirt under your fingernails again. String up the tomatoes, plant the peppers without the buzz of a podcast in your pocket. Look, I know you want to guzzle every conversation, but what if you drink in the steady pulse of water through the drip line? Drink in the sounds of beetles scuttling through straw, of song sparrows trilling, and hummingbirds humming with their whole bodies. What if you listened to the conversations right here with your muscles and bones, breath and sight, How, like the peas climbing their trellis, you too turn toward the sun, alive to everything that doesn't need to be plugged in. Nice. Sometimes you just gotta plug yourself into the sun. All right. This is another one kind of that came out of my thought that I could do everything, have everything by doing everything. And that's, it's an exhausting way to try to live. And so this is called To Have It All. If you want to have it all, you will have pain. To have it all means that you will love so fully your heart breaks open that one day the depths of your joy will be your darkest despair. This is not a warning. It is an invitation to trust that you are the well, to trust that you are as capacious as the sky, dazzling as the galaxy, and small as the seeds in your palm. This is not a warning. It is just life. A reminder to listen to the beating in your chest and to hear it reflected in the woodpecker's rhythm. You are part of it all. You are it all. And this is the gift of having it all. When you need to rest, these waters will help you float. Even in your deepest ache, you are never alone. Look up. The sky is already holding you. So I think I have a few more minutes. Yeah, okay. Got a couple more here. So the next one, I'm hoping I will remember the whole thing. And so, as I mentioned, we had run a CSA for 12 years. We grew a lot of vegetables, and we are now shifting away from annual vegetables. And this year we planted grapes, in large part inspired by our friend Duffy Gardner, who is also one of the Worcester Art Festival sponsors. So thanks, Duffy. So this is called We Grew Grapes. In the year of their Lord 2025, spring woke up burning. Smoke from Canadian wildfires made its way across the sea to Europe, but we stayed here and planted grapes. Wine is as old as Dionysus, but instead of planting, they'd been stoking, seeking Armageddon as if its man-made proof would prove them holy. Particles hung in the sky, the sun turned red. We draped grapevines in netting, a protection from deer who were just being deer, seeking tender green, unafraid, because our forefathers shot all the wolves, shot catamounts into legend, and hardly anyone eats venison these days. The guns are trained on people now. Congress praised the Second Amendment, hands the Bill of Rights to fossil fuel executives who worship the combustion of dinosaurs as if breathing in all this death will make us accept the next extinction. In the year of their Lord 2025, summer came in like a torrent, 3 1,000-year floods in 1 week, and they had the audacity to prey on TV while behind the scenes they shuttered call centers, left missing campers and swollen rivers to fund the starvation of Palestine, because in this dying empire, money pays for more dying. The government steals our healthcare, says, good news, health is in your hands now. My hands, these hands, our hands, covered in soil, fingerprints imprinted with earth, because we planted grapes. In the year of their Lord 2025, we have just now reached autumn. The grapes are still growing, and who knows what we'll be drinking in 3 years' time when the harvest is ready. Who knows? But I have enough hope for 3 years. After all, what once looked like dead sticks have unfurled into vines already, and if wine is as old as Dionysus, then maybe there's enough hope for a millennium. I don't know what comes next, except words are like seeds, and I am heart-weary, tired of dystopian scenes. Come, let's drink the juice of earth into our marrow, feel the buzz of centuries, stomping, dancing, popping open, tight skin to reveal that where there is laughter, there is possibility. In the year of their Lord 2025, I'll keep planting because the year doesn't belong to them. It's in my hands too. These hands, your hands, our hands. And I'm planting these words like seeds so they'll grow beyond hope into reality. And one day, I can see it already. The grapes will be ready. And I hope you'll join me on that hillside. And we'll raise a glass to all that survived. And it's really that hillside right up there. So, I have one more for you. It's called Root Words. Here, take these words. Let them grow like seeds inside your heart. Let the syllables turn to roots strong enough to lift up any song. So when you are grieving, you may wail. When you are ecstatic, you may shout. And when the notes fade, you know you are held in the silence, held in the trust that those root words will bloom again, writing a healed world into your hands, giving you seeds to plant and make it so. Thank you all, and I've got more poetry right over there. I'll be here the rest of the day. Thanks.
And David has a few words for us.
Who's having a good time? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. All right. Yes. Thank you so much for coming out today. What a wonderful experience we're having. What a wonderful turnout from vendors in particular and exhibitors. Thank you all so much for your participation. We have a couple of quick announcements. Number one, remember that the Worcester Arts Festival charges no vendor, exhibitor, or admission fee. Donations and a few corporate and local sponsors enable us to pay the bills. This does cost money, believe it or not. Please help us assure a fourth WAF by placing a donation in the appropriate box. We have a box here. It's not full yet. We also have a box at the welcome tent. Please leave us, we don't care if it's $1 or $100 bill. We'll take it, either one. Please don't give us coins, okay? The silent auction will end at 5 p.m. We request that if you are the high bidder, please pick up your item between 5 and 6 today, or tomorrow afternoon between 1 and 3. There are lots of great things over there, definitely. And don't forget to vote for the Arts Mark for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. At about 4:30, we're going to name the winner. The winner is the one that you have voted for, and that person will receive a check for $500. So please vote. And the box to put your ballot is on the welcome tent table. Okay? Continue. Let's have some more. I think we've got Jeff and Julia coming up.
Up next, we have Jeff Hewitt. Jeff lives in Calais, and he's very grateful to have been included today. He's happy to be here. Jeff is a writer and a human being. He wanted to emphasize. He did not want to be, okay, I won't go there. All right, so, but Jeff is actually the reigning champion slam poet for the state of Vermont. He won that championship in 2003 by 1/10 of a point. And they retired the contest. So he's been reigning for 22 years. Vermont's champion slam poet. Now today, a very special treat. He will be accompanied by Julia Hewitt, no relation. Julia has been living in Worcester since 2002. She has been teaching for 40 years. She has been playing the harp for 12 years and is really happy to share that with you today.
Oh, great moon up there, why must you hide your backside? Go ahead, moon me. And aren't those baby chicks creatures of my acquiescence? Letting a particularly broody, banty hen have some eggs to set? Now she acts as if they're completely her creation. Even the rooster has to sneak blessings to his heirs, and I get pecked for coming near. Those chicks get down under her belly and stay warm in that darkness, spuddling over each other in mourning when I remove the raincoat from their cage, the limits of their world so far. I make their day begin by letting sunlight in and feed and water them. They peek out from underneath their banty's feathered gut and peep. Hey, that's him! I saw God's hand unveiling day. And I sit here, 12 hours later, August 26th, 8:30 p.m. Already now the sun is down. Yeah, winter's coming. Darkness. God, I hate to see it come. They say the daughter at birth has all the eggs she'll ever produce. The path is set at your mother's birth as other paths unfold like a lifeline in the gradual unfolding fist of time. Some of these paths will come to coincidence. It might be the accident of a flat tire that delays you just enough to miss the train that would have run you over. And driving home with your suitcase, stop at a bar to inspect the tire, then decide to have one. And you meet a brilliant executive who takes you into her confidence, and within a year, you're flying in a private jet, riding in limousines with tuxedoed drivers who know the quickest route and where to drop you to celebrate time saved by such smart travel. At times you think, you're controlling the path. How else would anyone be so lucky if not just plain, maybe even a brilliant executive? But you crave time so you can climb into a tuxedo and take yourself for a spin in the limousine, ignoring the snooty stares from people at stoplights in normal cars who think you're just a lowly chauffeur sporting about in the boss's rig. Arriving home, your headlights catch the eyes of a cat working the roadside. It runs a path diagonal under your left front tire. At midnight, there's no finding an owner, no one to comfort and thus make yourself feel better. The teary master in a nightshirt telling you between sobs it was only a cat. Once you're home, you slump from the vehicle and feel your way in the dark. You know the path can swing in front of fortune and misery a whole life long. That's why I keep my fingers crossed. It's a form of prayer. I'm so glad that I could talk dear Julia into bringing her harp today. And I can't wait to hear what happens. I hope you can't either. It's delicate when we touch each other. A careful mistake will do, but nothing more. It's delicate, this love we carry, and know that only what waits is separation, and let the new people into your lives. Or is that just a bunch of hopeful crap? It's delicate to this learning. But even with degrees, there's no guarantee. Yet there is work. Oh, there is work. How many times I vacuum each week is a measure of unemployment, though vacuuming is nothing I do for enjoyment. I want me one of them riding vacuums, metallic green with special bumpers, so I don't mar the furniture as I'm whizzing the room, caroming off the pillars of the old upright piano, and making the long run down the hall, wearing the safety helmet that came with the unit, and wielding the magic wand attachment at cobwebs as I glide by. Cobwebs. Don't make me think of them. Let me picture a spider's more symmetrical effort, not the chaotic gathering of dust in strands that hang from ceilings. Let me think of spider webs, the organization of desire, a fractal like construction to ward off starvation, a sticky silver trampoline with plenty of space to fly through. Just avoid the center, claims the stupid moth that fouls the whole web and isn't anything the spider wants. Just a dusty pair of wings fluttered to a mealy core, the cobweb of the animal world. Not to speak of the damaged web to rebuild, for though resilient, a spider web is delicate, and delicate is like touch, like love, like learning, like the finest, most expensive, tiniest chocolate you're only supposed to have one of. What, are you trying to keep it spit free?
I'm trying to keep it from bubbling. Now you can.
Now I can spit again. Patrick? I want to hear it for Patrick. You always want to do that if you hope people will hear you. I want to say thanks to Mark, to David Book, to the Worcester Arts community, and the folks that put this together. Katie, I loved your poem about the grapes. I say about the grapes, you know what I'm talking about. Wow. Is it in one of your books? It's pretty brand new, isn't it? But you got it down. How did you do that?
A lot of walking in the woods while saying it out loud. I don't know. Like, how did I remember it? Or how,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just probably how you remember your poems too.
A lot of revision?
A lot, yeah. That one had a lot.
That brings it in. Yeah.
There's a lot of pages on that one.
Thank you. Julia, I want you to rock out, and I'll try a poem while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my own little world, I rush against the passing season and try to get a start on the season coming. Winter, cut wood for next winter. Springtime, get the tiller going, haul manure, and fence the garden right this time. Summer, pull weeds and build a chicken coop. Fall, stack wood and cut wood that didn't get cut last winter. The sun inches lower in the sky each day and starts back up before winter is even half started. Season after season, eventually so far behind, winter finds me cutting wood one day to burn the next, until I build a fire to warm me in the woods and burn what I cut, so there's nothing to haul home. And in panic, my family searches my flushed face, demanding me to prove I worked all day. My young daughter sniffs where her nose reaches my belly and remarks I smell like cutting wood. while my older son and wife look me in the face for a trace of lost confidence. They have huddled at the stove all day waiting. Perhaps tomorrow they will be cold enough to help. But for the night, we sleep in the same bed under heaps of blankets pooled from our rooms. I dream of my own importance in life until by some breach of common sense I feel that I have been the constant and the sun an incidental body on the run. So I'm writing this epic that will change the world, should I decide to make it public. When this crow flies overhead and seems to hover, which is something I've never seen, inches from my upturned face before lifting its bulk back to flight. So I go back to the epic when this car, a green 48 Buick convertible with the top down, pulls into my yard and 3 men in long coats jump out and call across the yard, "Are you Jeff Hewitt?" I tell them no. And they jump back in the car and roar off. I never see them again. Everybody has an angel. So I return to my epic poem that will change the world. And I feel my attentions shift like a quick jolt in the Earth's rotation. It's like this indescribable, what are you doing? Of the insides of one's body, bones, guts, even skin and brain, asking, what are you doing? And I'm thinking about priorities. A chocolate would taste pretty good about now. I've been through a lot, you know. Seen a lot of strange things. This will be it. You'll be glad. Everybody will be except me. Well, Julia, too. You love to perform, too, right? Thank you all for listening. The water was doing what water does best, which is soak things, which is finding its own level, which is leading to growth, plant growth, and then rot, which is back to the thirsty soil. The water was doing what water does best. It was dripping from every surface. It was dripping from my hair and from my nose, fingertips and elbows, and from the cuffs of soaked pants, through socks, into shoes. And the nasty November wind was doing what it does best, which is to take thin blood and flesh to the just short of numb stage. Christ, the water without that wind would have seemed almost warm. I was cursing my luck, out of gas, on a deserted country road. I was walking. At 6 p.m., I was leaning into the driven rain, not seeing any humor through wet lashes, but already savoring the telling later. Around the fire, attentive audience, cocoa steaming in clay mugs. The wind was whipping bullets of water against my helpless face, while river currents forced me backwards half the time. But I sang in that gathering darkness, sang and brought my soggy groceries home, doing what I do best.
The artists are gonna, and they're